Alright, hi everyone, Edge here. Working on the Spitfire Mk IX by Parkzone, and what I'm doing here is basically putting in flaps. So this side I cut out. I don't know if you could see, it wasn't as nice of a cut as I would have liked, but basically bottom line is that I was able to get this piece of wood in here. It's pretty firm and flat. Same thing on this side. I did a much better job. As always, when you cut the second time you get a better job of it. I'm basically using just these paint stirrer strips that you get for free at Lowe's when you buy paint. I bought a bunch of paint for the plane to match the fuselage and the wing when I had an aileron reversing incident, and I had to get some touch-up paint. As you can see right there, the front of the fuselage came off. But anyway, so my plan is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these cooler things off, I forget what they're called, and I'm going to basically cut out in the bottom of these spots for the flaps. I'm basically using the P47, the Parkzone P47 optional flap push rod set. It's going to be about the right size for what I need. I could have bought a bunch of separate parts and a bunch of stuff, but you know, $3.99. It's a great price for that stuff. I've got my small nylon hinges I'll be using to make it work. I've got my Y harness that I'll use for the flaps, and then in there I've got some a bunch of servos and stuff that I will use to put in here. I already have the retracts installed. A little bit more in a bit as I get further. Howdy folks, Edge here with my Spitfire Mk IX Parkzone plane here, and this weekend I put flaps on it. So without further ado, there we go. So how did I make these beauties? And let me flip this over. Well, what I did is what quite a few people have done, I've seen at least done online, was I put the servos underneath these oil cooling things, whatever they are. I don't really quite know, but anyway. So as you can see, let me pull them back up. I basically took the little horns, and I bought the set from the P47, the Parkzone P47. You can buy this set of these little horns and control rods and stuff. I think they cost like $3.99. It's pretty cool. Got that whole setup. I took two Hextronic servos, put them inside there, and just sent the wires straight through here. I cut out the area for the flaps as carefully as I could. Not perfect, but pretty decent. Let me turn it this way so we can maybe see better with the light. But painted them green inside. I know there's a lot of conjecture on what color they really were. I mean, sometimes I've seen where Spitfires have them green up here, and then the gray color up there. I just painted them green so that when the plane's flying by and I want to make sure my flaps are down, I can see that they're down. One modification I had to do to these little horns here, those I had to cut them off the top, because you can see normally they're really long like that. I had to cut it off because otherwise it would have hit right into there. So right now they go in there really well, no issues. Now the only kind of issue I had, which is my fault, which is that the way I put the servos in here, as you can see on this side there's maybe 3/4 of an inch of space. Here there's no space at the end, and actually this arm is angled a bit inside there. So that is my fault, but the end result is that they work. And I did notice that this one is down a little bit more than this one. I'm sure I could probably rip these things back off again and try and adjust them to where they're both the same. I may or may not do that. I've flown this plane yesterday. The angles of the flaps had no appreciable there was no appreciable effect on the plane that I could tell when I flew it with the one flap that's tiny bit lower than the other. In terms of what I use for hinging here, I use tape. I used hinge tape, and I just put it right there. The paint, as you could see, the color is not 100% the same. That's because I used this paint right here, this Valspar that I had color matched to the tail here when I took it into Lowe's, and they did a pretty good job. I mean, it's pretty close. Now the funny thing is, it really depends on the angle. Well, on the video here, I guess it really doesn't. The video doesn't care which angle it's at, but for the most part, I mean, it's pretty darn close. I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. I did test fly it yesterday. It flew remarkably well. It really slows the plane down, and doesn't really give it too much nose up, if any. I really didn't notice it. I mean, I flew it. I cut the throttle down to about 20% and then put the flaps all the way down, and the plane did really well. I was very happy with the way it acted on landing and on approach. It really does make a difference. The plane does slow down quite a bit. One of my main complaints with this plane in particular was that the landing speed. I mean, I've seen people online fly them, and it looks like it gets pretty slow, but it's not quite as slow as I think I would like it on an approach, especially since a lot of times I fly in a confined area off of pavement. But with the flaps now, it acts the way I expect it to. It slows down very nicely, and I think it just makes the plane act better on landing and approach. So anyway, that's how I did it. And this wood, the last thing I should mention is what this wood is when you go to a place where they sell paint, and they give you those sticks to stir the paint with. That's what these are. It's what that wood is. So, may or may not be the very best stuff to make it with. It does seem pretty light. It does seem pretty strong. I'm hoping it doesn't warp too much after I painted it, because sometimes this wood has a tendency to warp afterwards. So hopefully this doesn't. But anyway, yeah, that's how I did them on mine. I have it set up for a 2-second delay using my DX8 right here. And anyway, that's the flap mod that I did for the Spitfire. Hope you guys enjoyed the 6-minute video. As always, you guys take care. Thanks for watching, and edge out.